Imagine sitting in a lecture hall at one of the world's most prestigious universities. Around you, hundreds of students take notes, their eyes scanning pages, their ears catching every word. But the person at the center of this moment cannot hear the professor, cannot see the blackboard, cannot perceive the world the way you do right now. And yet, she's here. She has earned her place among the brightest minds of her generation. How is this possible? What does it mean to truly see when your eyes have never known light? There is a verse in the Bhagavad Gita that Krishna shares with Arjuna in a moment of profound doubt. He says, "The senses are higher than the body. The mind is higher than the senses, and the intellect is higher than the mind. But higher still is the self." This teaching points to something ancient philosophers understood deeply, that our perception of reality is not limited to what our physical senses report. The eye can be blind, while the mind remains luminous. The ear can be deaf, while understanding flows like a river. True sight, the Gita suggests, belongs to the realm of consciousness itself, not to the organs of perception. In the early years of the 20th century, a young woman named Helen Keller sat in darkness and silence. At 19 months old, an illness had taken both her sight and her hearing. The world had closed its doors. Her family believed her mind would remain locked away forever, unreachable. But then a teacher arrived, someone who understood that connection transcends the five senses. Through touch, through vibration, through the patient spelling of words into an open palm, this teacher opened a doorway that no illness could seal shut. Helen learned language. She learned to think. She learned to dream. And by the time she reached university, she had become a living testament to the truth the ancient philosophers had always known. The mind sees what the eyes cannot. The first lesson here is this: we are not our limitations. We live in a culture obsessed with what we lack, the opportunities we missed, the abilities we don't possess, the circumstances we cannot change. But Helen Keller's life whispers a different truth. She could not change her blindness or deafness. She could only change her relationship to them. She refused to let her circumstances define the boundaries of her mind. When you face your own walls, whether they are born of circumstance, fear, or past failure, remember that your consciousness is not imprisoned by them. Your capacity to learn, to grow, to understand, remains untouched. The second lesson is about the power of connection. Helen did not achieve what she did alone. A teacher's patient hand, spelling words into her palm, became the bridge between isolation and understanding. In our modern world, we often believe that strength means independence, that asking for help is weakness. But the ancient philosophers knew better. The Stoics spoke of our fundamental interdependence. We are woven into a web of relationships. The person who reaches out, who allows themselves to be taught, who receives help with gratitude, this person is not weak. They are wise. They understand that growth happens in relationship, in the meeting of one consciousness with another. Here's what you can do today. Identify one limitation you have accepted as permanent. Not a physical reality you cannot change, but a belief about what you are capable of. Perhaps you believe you are not creative, not intelligent, not brave enough. Now ask yourself, is this truth or is this a story I have been telling myself? Then do one small thing that contradicts this story. Read something challenging. create something imperfect. Have a conversation with someone who intimidates you. The action itself matters less than the shift in consciousness it creates. You are training your mind to see beyond the walls you have built. Helen Keller's degree from university was not a piece of paper proving her intelligence. It was a mirror held up to humanity, reflecting back a simple, devastating truth. We are so much more than our circumstances. We are consciousness itself, capable of infinite growth, infinite connection, infinite understanding. When darkness surrounds you, and it will for all of us, remember that the deepest sight has never required light. It requires only a mind willing to see, and the courage to reach toward another hand in the darkness. Subscribe to LifeVeda for daily wisdom that transforms your life.